What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Imperfect Action Show, where we connect with 6, 7, 8 figure earners, and we figure out what are some of the most, interesting imperfect steps that they made so they can be successful. In today's episode, I have an amazing guest. We actually just connected last week, and I just said to myself, I had to bring her on the show because she's amazing and she has a lot of gems. I know that she can drop and share with you guys. Welcome, Miss Jalen Brunson, to the pod. What's up?
Hey.
And we're obviously we're in podcast, but we're streaming on YouTube, and you are no stranger to YouTube. So
No, I'm
this
not.
is this is like right back home to you. So why don't we start off there? So how did you find YouTube as a platform for you to get started with, and then what made you stick to it? Because there's a lot of people that start channels and they're not consistent or they give up. So what how'd you start, and then what kept you consistent?
Wow. Well, yeah, for the people that don't know me out there, my name is Jay, and I've been on YouTube and social media for 10 years now. 10 years, the whole decade. And Big 10, basically we're about to go into 11 years soon. But
Woo!
yeah, I started my channel when I was 14. And I don't know, when I was younger, really it was like the only place where I felt like I could 100% and completely be myself, because when I was a kid, I was extremely shy. I was
Oh,
extremely
word?
shy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was so shy and I had a lot to say. I had a lot of thoughts. I had a lot of opinions, but I was just quiet in school and I would just, mind my business, go to school, do what I had to do. But I would always watch YouTube. I would always
Mm.
be creative. I would always make videos just like on my laptop, on my phone. Well, not my phone, on my laptop, and make music and stuff like that. And yeah, at some point I was like, why don't I just go on YouTube? Like, why don't I just express myself on YouTube and just, create? I do not do anything that I used to do now. Like, when
Okay.
I started is
Yeah.
not where I'm at now.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I went through so many journeys on my social media life. Like, it's nearly unrecognizable in some ways. But yeah, I started off as like an entertainer, a comedian.
Oh, okay. You funny now.
Yeah. Yes, I was pretty funny. I was pretty funny. Like, I was known for that. And I was also a rapper at that time too.
Okay.
And now I do divine feminine work and femininity and meditation and spirituality. So it's been a long journey, but
Yeah.
I think what's kept me going was always focusing on what was implanted in my heart.
Okay.
What was I meant to talk about? What do I love? What are my passions? Because I realized that if I just focused on that, everything else would follow. And I was consistent, I was determined, and I just knew deep down inside that I would always be successful. Like, there was no way that this would not work.
Got
Like, even when you post your first YouTube video, you got 100 views, nobody likes it. I was like, I got frustrated. I got really frustrated after a while. And I remember waking up 3 o'clock in the morning, and I took out my calendar and I was like, on this day, I'm gonna have this many subs. On this day, I'm gonna have this many subs. On this day, I'm gonna have this many subs. And I'm gonna work hard. It's gonna happen. Period. Yeah. And then it did. Naturally it did. My channel started to kind of take off and things started to fall into place in a lot of different ways. So
I see
yeah.
that. I see that. So from being shy to finding a platform that you felt comfortable, rapping, entertaining, you know what I'm saying, comedy, and then finding the space that you're in right now. Obviously, I feel like that journey contributed to you being where you are.
Yeah.
So if you look at your Instagram, in your bio, you talk about how you help people, transmute their pain into pleasure. So, like,
Mhm.
tell us a little bit about that, and how you find your way doing the work that you're doing right now.
Yes, yes, the work I'm doing is definitely a lot different from rapping. But, basically, throughout life, throughout, my own journey, I had a lot of experiences of heartbreak. I had
Mm.
a lot of experiences of trauma. I had experienced sexual trauma and a lot of different things that were just happening all at once. Especially when I had moved to California for a little bit and I lived out there, it was a hot mess. It was a hot mess. I was going through it. It seemed like every step of the way there was a big old boulder, and like I'm like, oh my God, I was broke. It was just a lot of pain over and over again. So I I got to this place where I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what next step I wanted to take. And I got to a point where I honestly wanted to just end it all.
Mm.
Yeah, I really did.
Like
And
end it all, or just end it all? Like end
I,
it
wa-
all.
I wanted to go.
Wow.
It was bad, but I wanted to go because, like I said, my mind wasn't there. I was a completely different person. I would drink a lot, smoke a lot. My head was not, I wasn't grounded. So that doesn't contribute to it. So because I was trying to always escape from my problems
Mm.
instead of learning how to focus on things head on and how to understand how I contribute to my actual life, what I wanted to do was like, oh, I'm going to just, I'm not going to look at it, not going to see it. I'm going to try to escape from it.
Yeah.
I was trying to run away from my pain instead of actually sitting down and processing it, even if it doesn't look pretty, even if it doesn't, feel the best, really just saying, you know what? Let me just confront this. Let's feel it. Let's process it. Because once you get past the pain, you are able to actually access the pleasure.
Mm.
When you try to hide the pain, you try to numb it, you try to drink it away, you try to smoke it away, you try to sex it away, you try to talk to other people it away, you try to keep on running to different places, it will
Yeah.
still be there.
Yes, it will.
But once you learn how to actually confront your stuff, you meditate, sometimes literally even feeling the pain in your body, because a lot of the times emotional events and trauma is actually stored in the body. People don't realize that it's muscle memory, mind, body, soul. It's all connected. So what I learned how to do was, instead of when I got triggered, instead of being like, oh my God, let me just, pretend this doesn't exist, I learned how to just go directly back into my body, figure out where it was, feel it, be present with that emotion, let it go,
Mm.
let it go. And then I just started like, whoa, I can actually let go of all this stuff. And then once you change, guess
Yeah.
what happens? Your life changes,
Facts.
you know? And I am 100% about living a pleasurable life. I want a life that feels good. There's so many people who fake being happy,
Yeah.
fake being just like, whether it's their relationship, whether it's their sex life, whether it's everything, we just fake it because we want to look a certain way, we want to look rich, we want to look successful, we want to look happy, but we want to actually be it because this life is too short.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so no more faking it, no more faking it. Deal with the pain so you can access your pleasure.
So if you were going back, right, and you could tell the younger version of yourself that might have been going through some of this stuff and maybe not processing it, what are some of the like the tools, resources that you found yourself being able to tap into and access it quickly versus before, right? So what are some of the things you would tell your younger self how to like move past it?
What would I tell my younger?
What's in the toolkit, Jay? What's in the toolkit?
Honestly, what would I tell my younger self? I would have told her it's not other people,
Mm.
it's you. It is you. And we don't like to hear it. We like to play the victim. Even if we're in a victimized situation, maybe you're actually in a tragic situation. Like for me, I was in a relationship where it was very toxic. and everything. And I had this whole thing in my mind where I was like, it's just, you know, I'm just stuck and I can't. And he did this to me and da 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 da. And I would always cry about it, but I'm still here.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff that we experience in our lives is based on decisions that we make and the choices that we take. So I would say when you're in a place where you feel stuck, you're in a place where you feel trapped, you feel just like it's not giving. It's just life is not giving what it needs to give. Then we need to look at what decisions are we making and why are we making those decisions. So really the first thing is self-awareness.
Yeah.
Developing huge freaking self-awareness. Your subconscious is the master house of your life. And your subconscious is the thing that causes you to breathe without having to think about breathing. It's what causes you to sleep, and you just go to sleep. You don't actually have to try to do it. So if you have a bunch of beliefs and limiting beliefs and memories and stuff that are telling you this is who I am and I'm a bad person, I'm negative, I don't deserve wealth, I don't deserve the best of life, and that's living in the background in your subconscious, all those limiting beliefs, all those negative thoughts just kind of always on go mode in your mind, you have to be able to look at those beliefs, write them down, and see them clearly. Because the more that you can see it, it's not going to be dark anymore. It only has power over you if it's somewhere hidden away in your subconscious. But the moment that you can become consciously aware of it,
Yeah.
that's when you can start actually checking yourself before you wreck yourself. And, you know? So I would say self-awareness through writing it down. I like to take inventory of all the thoughts in my mind, especially if I realize that my life is kind of like, what's going on? I take out my journal and I say, what am I thinking about? Like, what am I actually thinking about? What am I doing on a daily basis? Who am I hanging around? I take inventory, like what content am I taking in? Who am I hanging around? Who am I surrounding myself with? What am I actually consuming? Because whatever I consume on a daily basis, whatever I consume in my mind is going to be reflected in my reality. So I say self-awareness.
That's big talk right now.
Yeah. It's
That's big
real.
talk. So, okay, what's interesting right now is like from TV, music, social media, friendships, family, like what people have, what we have grown up in, the environments, right, the spaces. We tend to think these are normal, like normal interactions, normal energies, normal spaces.
Mhm.
But really, they could be unhealthy. They could be toxic. They just tremendously not beneficial to your upbringing. But it's like someone's normal, right? Because maybe family trauma that's unhealed, and now you're in that. Maybe friends, and So how does one get out of that, right?
Mhm.
And then find a space that can be their own, be able to plug into that space so then they can grow out of that. Because if you're the only person that may be in these environments, these spaces that wants to get better or wants to grow, you still have to come back because you might have to live in the space. You
Mhm.
might have certain friendships that are still there. You might have certain, relationships with family members that are still there. So I think that can be tough as well. So how does someone get out of that? How do you build up their self awareness and like the strength to just get out of that?
It's all in your head.
Mm,
Every single thing is in your mind. The only way that you're able to perceive life is through your own mind, through your own eyes. You can see a bunch of things in front of you, but it's you seeing it.
that's
So
yeah.
yeah, you could feel stuck and you could feel trapped, but at the end of the day, it's always a perspective. You can always
That's
switch
heavy.
your perspective no matter where you're at. So the first thing I would say is recognize your power. Recognize who you are. Wake up. Like you don't just because you're surrounded with people who make you feel some type of way, it's not them making you feel some type of way. It's your reaction to what they're saying.
Talk heavy. That's
It's your react like
yeah.
no one can make you feel some type of way. If they're making you feel some type of way, it's because they're bumping up against something inside of you.
Mm,
People could talk negative to me and I'm just like da, da, da. And I'm just like Okay. Like I don't there's nothing for it to bump up against because I've
Yeah,
already released a lot of, the bullshit. I mean, sorry, a lot of the stuff
it's all
inside
good.
of me, you know? So it's like I feel like you have to get to a place where that's no longer an excuse for you. You at some point you have to decide and make a decision that no matter what, I'm going to be successful. Whatever it is, I'm going to be successful in love. I'm going to be successful in life. I'm going to be successful in finances and whatever. I also believe that you truly get to have it all. I see a lot of people, especially in the entrepreneurship community, they're very big on making money and like living a very nice lifestyle, but then their personal life sucks and they
Mm.
have no peace of mind. They have bad sex with their freaking wives. They cheat on them left and right. And it's like that's not fun either. Like I feel we have rules and regulations for what we believe that we can have and what we believe that we can experience. So if your rule is okay, I no matter what, I get to have money, I don't care about all this other stuff, and I get to have money, that's what you're gonna get. But if you believe, I get to have everything that I want, I get to be at peace, and it gets to be easy for me, and I get to get out of the situation, your brain will make a way.
Mm.
I've seen so many miraculous events for just people I've worked with and people that I've been around where they're literally like stuck in a situation, but then all of a sudden when they open their mind, there's the door. Because you will only see what you continue to tell yourself that you're going to see. And
Yeah,
I
that's facts.
hate when I say it, but it's so true. like literally if I find myself in a situation, I'm like, okay, instead of saying, I feel so bad, I'm in this situation, it's so hard, I say, how can I get out? How can I get out of the situation? What can I do? Instead of being like, oh, I can't, I'm just stuck, all these people, they're haters and my family doesn't support me and all this stuff, you're focused on the wrong thing. Fix your focus on what you want.
Mm.
If what you want is success, focus on what it is that you want as much as humanly possible. Don't People like to spend a lot of time at the complaining counter. That's not where you're going to spend your money, because where attention flows,
Yeah,
that's where the energy goes.
facts.
We don't want the energy to go to the complaining. We want the energy to go where we want it to go, which is to that successful life. It's brainwashing,
Yeah.
literal brainwashing. Like take a shower head and wash your brain and go towards the other direction, no matter how much your body and your mind will want to stay stuck, because that's where it's comfortable,
That's what's comfortable. Yeah.
that's where it feels good, that's what you know. You gotta be courageous enough to go to the unknown. And then at first, you probably get there and you start making steps. And the next thing you know, I got to mess this up. It can't, it's too good to be true. I know this, I can't actually have this. I guess in my community, we call that expanding your container.
Mm.
Being actually able to hold on to the thing. It's the classic thing where you see the people who get really wealthy really quickly and then they lose it all. Their life goes crazy because they don't have the energetic space within inside of them to be able to actually hold the thing. They can attract the thing, but they can't hold it. They can't let it build. They can't let it stack. So it's you either got two problems. You got the one where you can't attract the thing at all. It just cannot come to you at all because of your mind, or you can't hold it and you
Mm.
can't sustain it. So if you balance both of those aspects, that's how you can like really transform your life.
You talking heavy this morning. On the West Coast, it's afternoon where you're at.
Yes.
So right now we're on with Jay. We're talking about how you can literally transform your life. She's giving you a lot of game in real time. Drop your questions in the chat if you have some for her. This is your time to definitely ask these questions. Definitely drop them in the chat. So you got a retreat coming up. So why don't we talk about this retreat? What is going on with this retreat? Couple of weeks.
Yes, for the goddesses, for the goddesses. Yes. This retreat is going to be about love and money.
Okay.
Love and
Love
money.
and money or loving money?
Love and money.
Okay. Love and money.
Mhm. Yes, for me, the frequency of love and money is very similar. It's very much so connected. It's in the same energetic space. So when you're able to have large quantities of self-love inside of you, you're usually able to have large quantities of money because you have a lot of self-worth, a lot of self-value. You're going to price yourself accordingly. You're going to put
I like
yourself
that.
out there. You're going to do things that you love. And naturally, when you're passionate and you have that energy, people are just drawn to you. And for me, a lot of the work that I do is also centered around seduction and attraction. And for, you know, how there's soft power and there's hard power. Hard power is about going out there, grabbing it, going to get it, and hustling and like war. It's very masculine, right? But soft power is about influence.
Mm,
It's about making the things that you want come to you. It's about being the thing that things want to just be around. It's about getting your energy to a place where somehow, some way, things just happen for you. And that's seduction, that's
mm,
attraction. And that's what we're going to be talking about at that retreat. So we're going to be getting the women to get in tune with their seduction, loving themselves, boosting their attraction, and also becoming wealthy,
mm,
becoming truly wealthy and having a good relationship with money, being able to keep it, being able to attract it from all directions, especially in their own business. I do believe that women should be wealthy. I believe women should be wealthy because I find that I've seen in a lot of situations, especially recently, there's a lot of women who maybe they're in relationships and they feel trapped, they feel stuck. Maybe the guy is providing for them. And because of that, they feel like they have nowhere to go. I
mm.
feel like when a woman is wealthy, she can make better choices for herself. And not just saying like, oh, she has to be the provider in the relationship and all that stuff. No, I don't necessarily agree with that either. But just having something for yourself is really good. Having a foundation, being safe, feeling secure, you're able to make the right choices. So yeah, we're talking about business and entrepreneurship and doing business in a way that's heart centered. So you can show up and it's not like, I hate this. You love
Yeah.
what you do. Like you actually love what you do. Like when I get on the phone with clients, when I'm hanging around people, when I'm just talking about what I'm talking about, I love it. And that's where the money resides.
Yeah, that's where the money resides. So where is the retreat?
Yes, it's going to be in Florida. It's going to be Destin, Florida.
It's in Florida. And then what are the dates?
It's actually going to be at the end of this month. It's going to be on March 30th. March
Okay.
30th through April 2nd.
So March 30th, April 2nd
Mm-hmm.
in Florida.
Yes.
And then is there a cap on capacity? Like what's the attendees looking like? 10, 20, 30? Like do you have a
Right
cap or is
now we have 18. We have spots for 3 more people.
it okay, so 21 is gonna be the cap right now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes,
Man.
yes.
Is this the first one or have you had retreats prior to this one?
This is my first ever retreat ever. This is my first in-person event. This
Oh,
is the
okay.
first time I'm going to be meeting like people who support me, and some people just kind of found out about the retreat. I don't even know how they found out. Like I had one girl, she said, yeah, man, I was just looking on YouTube one time and I just ran into the video, and literally you were talking about a retreat. That video hit me so differently that I was like, nah, I gotta be here. I don't even know you. So I feel like with spaces like that, everything is just aligned. In those kind of spaces where we get those women together and we heal and we get into that space, everybody who's supposed to be there is going to be there.
Yeah.
Everybody, it's sacred. So I'm really excited. I feel like it's going to be so transformational and I can't wait to meet all the women in person and just to have fun.
So, what questions do you guys have for Jay? We are talking about a lot of things that are going to help you just become a better person. Even little things that you can do every single day to help build that self awareness and build up that self worth. And like Jay was mentioning, just you know, brainwashing yourself to just improve that identity that you have, stuff like that. So, drop your questions in the chat. If you have some, Brandy, just say yes. Heart centered, yes. So that's
Yes.
what's up. So you have mentioned that you have a community coming up. So let's talk about that a little bit. What is this community?
Yes, the community that I have coming up is called Rich Goddess Club. Yes.
Rich Goddess Club.
Yes, because for me, like I said before, I really want the goddesses to be wealthy, but it doesn't just stop at financial wealth, everything. I want women to have everything and know that they can have everything. They can have love, they can have money, they can be provided for, they can be seductive, they can have a great sex life, they can enjoy themselves, they can have a great body, they can feel good about themselves. Like we don't have to live in where it's like, okay, you can have this, but not that, and that, and not this. Like, let's create a life that is rich. Rich is full of flavor, it's full of color, it's full of passion. And that's what that community is going to be about. Basically, how can we create that in our lives?
So we got a question from Berto. What's up, man? I see you. He says, "What's the hardest aspect of yourself What's the hardest aspect you had to overcome yourself on your journey so far?"
What is the hardest aspect of myself that I had to overcome on my journey? Huh. I'm trying to think. Let's see. I've had several things, actually. I would say, honestly, my relationship with love and money. I would say my relationship with love and money, and also sex. You know, I don't know if you talk about that on like your channel and stuff.
I mean, you can go crazy.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so for all those categories, I had a lot of stuff, you know. Like I said, when I was younger, I had sexual trauma and I experienced sexual trauma at a very young age. And that really it harmed my relationship with my own body, my own sexuality, my own sense of self-worth. And it was subconscious. I didn't have an understanding of it, but I realized that the reason why I chose different partners and chose different situations was because of that trauma. And even down to being able to even experience good sex in my body and like orgasm and stuff, I couldn't do it. I was like, I felt like I was broken. And that really affected my self esteem and, yeah, and my relationships and connecting to people. But I never, there was a point in my life where I never quite felt safe.
Mm,
I didn't feel like I could open up. I didn't feel like I could be vulnerable. I always had a shell around me. And obviously, I could still talk to people, still have fun, and whatever the case is. But there was always a wall there.
yeah.
And just like you have a wall around your heart, you put a wall to protect yourself. You also stop things from coming in. Okay. And not everything that wants to come in and wants to come out is a bad thing.
Mm,
When you when you have that wall, you're trying to block everything. You block everything. But when you block your heart, you can't experience life to the fullest. Just as much as you can experience depression and negativity, you're also missing out on happiness and peace and joy. So I think from healing myself and going back to a place where I could be vulnerable again and I could be soft again and I could feel my heart again, it opened up my life completely, like in all aspects. Like I was wealth and money and love and everything because I was no longer like trying to block myself anymore. I was, I felt so secure and safe in myself to just be present, be me, and to just show up completely as me. And the more you do that, I don't know, people are just very attracted to that.
I mean, it's energy, so
Yeah.
they can definitely pick up on that.
Yeah. So I would say healing my heart because it healed everything in my life, from my love life, my financial life, to how I can just listen to myself. I don't second guess myself anymore, where it was like, oh, I feel like I shouldn't do this. It just doesn't feel right. But then you go ahead and do it anyway. I don't really do that as much anymore. I really honor how I feel.
Yeah. So Whitney says, "Well, you are being vulnerable now. We appreciate that, and thank you for sharing."
Aw, thank you, Whitney. Yes.
We've been on for a little bit. Definitely want to be respectful of your time. Normally on the imperfect action, we go in like 30 minutes or so, but I feel like we could just keep talking. So I'm looking forward to connecting with you and have you on the other podcasts and stuff like that. So, what else would you like to share with the people, and how can they get in contact with you?
Man, I would just like to say, guys, remember that you can have it all and you can live an authentically happy and pleasurable life. You don't have to fake it for anyone. If you are not happy, if you're not in a situation where you're not feeling good, let's confront it. Let's deal with
Mm,
it. Let's actually face it, because the more that you can face it in your relationships and your finances, you're not putting your head in the sand, you deal with it and confront it head first, then that's the fastest that you'll get to the actual outcome that you're seeking. So definitely face your shit, get it done, heal, let it go, be vulnerable so that you can live your best life. And if you need help with doing that, find me on my YouTube channel at It's Baby J. Find me on Instagram. I do like one-on-one consultations, personal retreats. I have the group retreat coming up, and courses, classes. We got it all on the Goddess Network. So yeah.
the Goddess Network. I like
Yeah.
it. So I'm very appreciative of you sharing your time, space, and some energy, giving all that you gave today.
Mhm.
A lot of amazing information. Obviously, being vulnerable, sharing, just being present and just giving all that you gave. So make sure that you guys check out It's Baby J, Instagram, YouTube. If you have any questions that you didn't get a chance to ask her, send her a DM. If you want to jump into that retreat, she got a couple slots left, so definitely make sure you reach out to her. So here's a well, Whitney, you kind of missed that question, but I'm gonna have her answer that really quick. So Whitney's question was, how did you start YouTube? She got a camera and she hit record.
I started my YouTube journey literally, like I said, back in the day, where I was like, I just love it. I had fun. I was always that type of person. Like, if there was a assignment in school, instead of doing like a written assignment, can I do a video? Can I do a video, please? Like, I just love that. I love to express my creativity in that way. And when I used to watch YouTubers, and I was like, yo, I could do this. Like,
Yeah,
this could be fun. Like, why not? So, I started off just showing up, and I showed up consistently. That's
yeah,
the thing with YouTube. I feel like YouTube itself is probably the most rewarding social media platform, that if you grow a platform on YouTube, you're good. Like, you're really good in a lot of different ways. Because the community that I've built, over 300,000 so people, like, those are my people. Like, those are my people. There's some people that still are like subscribed to me. They've seen me this whole time. Like, they've seen all of my journeys, all the different sides of myself. I met one of those subscribers literally when I was at the grocery store the other day. I was like, she was like, oh my God, I remember when you were back in like your other house and da 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 da. And I, so like, you just have to show up. You just have to start. Just express yourself. And you could do it also analytically. Look at what other people are doing, get inspired, and make it your own. But I don't know. For me, it was just like, let me just show up, be myself consistently, and
yeah,
know that it was actually going to happen. Yes,
yeah. That's
it,
great. And look
that
at you,
was
10 years later. ten
yes.
years, 10 years later. So yeah, again, it's been amazing. Look forward to connecting with you after, and then we'll get this in person going on the other podcast. But I just want to encourage everyone that is either watching live or checking out the replay. Definitely connect with her at It's Baby J. Sub that YouTube account. Hit her up on Instagram and send that DM if you're interested in working with her, or maybe if you just have some questions. This has been another episode of the Imperfect Action Show. I'm Brendan. That's Jay. And we'll see you guys on the